Students, so today in this video we are going to discuss about the industrial revolution topic of the world history. So this is going to be the first topic of our world history module. So as I told you earlier, world history you need to know about, it is useful for your mains perspective, and coming to the preliminary perspective, it should be dealt in a subjective manner but not the objective manner. So for this you need to have a very good clarity on the concepts and topics and terminologies which we are using in this topic. So coming to this industrial revolution, which is a phenomenal event happened in the 18th century, which turned the history of the world, and also which is one of the important factor of why we have been into this slavery, like we have become colony of an imperial power called Great Britain. So let's see the definition of industrial revolution. It refers to the changes witnessed in economic, socio-cultural, and political life as a result of replacement of hand tools with machine tools in the production process. And guys, these changes were gradual and were fundamental and also irreversible. That is why we'll be calling it as revolution. Every dimension of human life that I told you, that economic, socio-cultural, and political life, was transformed by the direct and indirect effects of industrial revolution. So basically this industrial revolution was first commenced in Britain during 1760s, that is the second half of 18th century, and gradually it moved to other parts of the world. So let's see how this industrial revolution have got spreaded over the other parts of the world. So first it got started in the Great Britain of the European continent. Like almost half a century, this industrial revolution was remained limited to only Britain. And next, the Belgium was the second country in this Europe, probably in the world also, to witness this industrial revolution. How? Around 1800, some British mill owners carried their machines secretly to Belgium and established factories. And at the same time, like around the same time, industrial revolution also commenced in the France after French Revolution under the leadership of Napoleon Bonaparte. He established Bank of France, constructed roads, and implemented continental system for rapid industrialization. So this is how the industrialization started in France. And also when coming to the case of Germany, we have a concept called Zollverein, which got established in 1819. And this concept of Zollverein paved the way for the beginning of this industrial revolution in Germany. So even though in 1819 the Zollverein has got started, Zollverein is nothing but the group of businessmen came together in order to start a business with the resources what they used to have. And in and around 1819, the Germany was not a defined country because it got disintegrated into more than 350 smaller states, and it got again integrated by Bismarck the Great uh, around 1870. And then in and around 1870, the real phase of industrialization in Germany was witnessed. And coming to the next, USA, United States. In USA, the process of industrialization commenced in 1820, guys. But the real phase was witnessed after 1870. Basically, United States of America was established just because of these Europeans. After the discovery of this vast territory, United States, the Europeans, particularly the Portuguese, this people belong to Spain, and the Britishers, fled to US for the better opportunities, and they have started their development from the dig of the scrap, and then they have inhibited this concept of industrialization, and finally United States is the biggest manufacturing economy right now in this 21st century. So when coming to the case of Japan, East Asian island nation, which is small but it's very powerful industrialized country, Japan was the first country in Asia to undergo industrialization. Even before Russia, Japan was the first country to undergo industrialization. The Japanese Industrial Revolution was triggered by the need to restore Japanese national pride. So here comes an interesting topic for you. That's about the Japanese rabid nationalism and who was the personality who was associated with this concept and what is the outcome and how this industrialization played a dominant role in making Japan is one of the competing powers probably by the time of Second World War. In 1853, first, I'm just talking about how this industrialization came into the country called Japan. In 1853, American naval commander, his name was Matthew C. Perry, reached Japanese coast. He demanded opening of Japanese markets because till that time, Japanese markets were just very closed markets because the Japan was following closed door policy, just like India used to follow before 1991. So the European and American merchants were not allowed to enter Japan because Japanese government was apprehensive that their entry could result into Japanese colonization. That is how the India got colonized by the entry of Europeans at first. Japanese government had seen the fate of other Asian countries such as India and Southeast Asian nations. When Japanese government refused to accept the demand of Mr. MC Perry, he bombarded Japanese coastal cities. Under the pressure of these circumstances, Japan agreed to open her markets, but Japanese felt badly humiliated. This national humiliation of Japan triggered the birth of rabid nationalism. So, this is how the Industrial Revolution concept and the rise of rabid nationalism concept in Japan has got interlinked. So, what happened next? In 1868, a political revolution took place in Japan, which is famously known as Meiji Restoration. So, the concept of Meiji Restoration is nothing but a political revolution that was took place in Japan in 1868. So basically, the Meiji dynasty came to power through this revolution. They were famous for their strong nationalist views and they pushed Japan onto the path of industrialization to restore Japanese national prestige. So, under these circumstances, Japanese Industrial Revolution commenced in 1870 and within next 30 years, Japan emerged as major industrial power. So the personality behind this rapid industrialization, transformation of Japanese economy was Tozo, Mr. Tozo. He was one of the dictators just like Adolf Hitler, Mussolini, Joseph Stalin in such a way. So how come this industrial revolution concept came to Russia? In Russia, industrialization commenced to some extent in 1870. This was largely due to the contribution of foreign investors belonging to England, France, etc. because Russia has opened its markets to the European countries. So the British capitalists dominated petroleum sector, the Germans dominated chemical industry, and coming to the French domination, it dominated iron and steel sector of the Russia. But even though it got started in 1870 because of the foreign investments, but the real phase of industrial revolution in Russia commenced after the Russian Revolution in 1917. That is in 1921. After 1921, but exactly, the real phase of industrial revolution in Russia commenced. So guys, this is about the spread of industrial revolution. So in this video, we have discussed the industrial revolution, its definition, and what are the countries it got spreaded over, and the background of the spreading of industrial revolution, particularly in each and every country. So in the coming video, as I told you in this video only, the industrial revolution first commenced in Britain and almost over an half of the century, that is over 50 years, it remained in only Great Britain. Why? Why did industrial revolution commenced in Britain before other countries? So this question is going to be the next video for you. So just stay tuned, follow me, and thank you.